My name is Anna Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to discuss with you the astrological aspects of April of 2026. April is going to be a very intense month. It's coming in hot and heavy. We're going to see a lot of activity in the Middle East because of the Strait of Hormuz being blocked. And this is causing an increase in petroleum prices, gasoline, diesel, anything based on petroleum is going to go up. And it has already here in Miami, the gas has gone up almost $1 per gallon. Premium is currently at $3.99. Like regular is at $3.85, I think it was. So it compare it to your area and see how you guys are faring. So having said that, I anticipate that food prices are going to increase substantially, or there may be even food shortages as well because fertilizer is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz, which I saw on a YouTube video, right? Um, we have Mars from April 8th through April 12th activating eclipse points and the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and specifically from April 12th to about the 20th or 22nd, we might see the Iran conflict go to new heights. Even, I don't even know if that's possible, but it is a very stressful period. So from April 8th through the 12th, and actually then from the 12th to the 22nd, those are two periods. So from the 8th to the 22nd, mostly the whole month of April, we're going to see that Mars is going to be triggering things. Now, remember that Iran is not acting alone. China is behind all of this. Also, keep in mind that China's sun is 7 degrees and 47 minutes. So all this Aries energy, all this Aries stellium is opposite their sun. Maybe because of the full moon in Libra on April 2nd, China will try to make efforts maybe for a peace talk. Libra is, the sign with the scales, it's very diplomatic, very it's justice type of thing, right? So maybe China will try to start some peace talks, but I don't think it'll work. Or maybe they come out and in full force and openly help Iran, like the veil drops because China is ruled by Libra. On a personal level, think back to whatever happened uh, in the Saturn-Neptune conjunction on February 20th for you guys, based on your natal chart, because Mars will conjunct Neptune on April 12th, and then Mars will conjunct Saturn April 19th, 20th at 7 degrees 51 minutes of Aries. So the third week of April might be very stressful. On a personal note, don't argue with anybody, avoid confrontations, just lay low. Be like Casper the Ghost, invisible, right? Just quiet down, don't say much, just disappear. Now the signs that will be affected the most are the cardinal signs, and those are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Specifically between the degrees of 2 to 9 degrees, okay? Because Neptune is at 2 degrees, and this Mars conjunction to Saturn will happen at 7 degrees 51 minutes, which is almost 8 degrees. So that's sphere or whatever that area of degrees is the ones that are going to be mostly impacted. Again, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. You guys are, you have planets in at those degrees and those signs. Just pay attention, to what happens, right? So between April 19th and April 20th, we have Mars, Mercury, and Saturn conjunct. On a mundane level, there can be attacks and they can be stateside as well, meaning that they can be on US soil. There can be cyber attacks, attacks to the electric grid, to nuclear reactors or nuclear sites as well. I mean, God willing, none of this will happen, right? And everything will be peace and love, but there's too much energy in Aries, and Aries is the sign of war, right? So, I would keep some cash at home because on top of that, we have Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 29 degrees on the 23rd of the month. And as you know, Venus rules love and money. So, for those of you who have planets in the fixed signs, right? Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius at 29 degrees plus or minus 3 degrees. This could be love at first sight, or it can have to do with the banks or the stock market. So, and if you're invested in the stock market, then you need to be very, very careful this month, right? Maybe even from like the 21st of April through, because the exact conjunction is on the 23rd, but sometimes, you get a little bit of a warning before the stock market just, takes a huge dive. Um, Also, Uranus is linked to earthquakes as well. Eh, In addition, I would start growing your own vegetables and fruits. Um, for you people that live in cold weather, up north, I would build a greenhouse this summer, right? So that way you have the ability to grow your own vegetables and fruits going forward because of the price of food and because there may be some food scarcity because of the fertilizer issue. Now, to add to even more drama, we also have Uranus finally entering Gemini on April 25th to stay there for 7 years. Okay. Now, this will make most of the outer planets in male signs. Pluto is in Aquarius, Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and now Uranus will be in Gemini. So Jupiter is the only one in Cancer, which is a female sign, until Leo enters Jupiter, which is late June. So when Jupiter enters Leo, all of the outer planets will be in male signs. All right, because fire and air are male and earth and water are female signs. Now, when Uranus enters Gemini, this is where things start to get difficult, where war is concerned for the US. The American Revolutionary War from 1775 to 1783, Uranus was in Gemini. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, Uranus was in Gemini. World War II, 1941 to 1949, Uranus was in Gemini. Remember, the cycle is every 84 years. So just remember that this too shall pass. But, like by mid-May, I anticipate that things with Iran will get a lot better, like I said in my previous video, but I think April is the tipping point. We all get a breather for a couple of months and then, well, I'll tell you in another video, right? This video is not meant to scare you, but to prepare you for the best possible outcome. All right. So it's to me, it's better to know what's coming than to just get blindsided, right? So that is the overview of April. I told you it was coming in hot and heavy, but now we'll do the daily events that might be happening on a daily basis. So let's start with April 1st. There's a full moon in Libra at 12 degrees 51 minutes. Saturn will be conjunct the sun and it will be opposite the moon. So some relationships, right? Because Libra is a sign of relationships, will come to an end because full moons complete cycles. Libra is a sign of relationships, both in love and business, right? Pluto offers good support because it trines the moon and it sextiles Saturn. Eh, Make sure that if something does happen, because you have planets around the cardinal signs at 12 degrees, 13 degrees, that you are honest, that you are respectful. Don't try to wiggle yourself out of the situation. Like, be responsible, be accountable for whatever happens, because Saturn is conjunct. So Saturn doesn't play around. You need to own up to whatever happens. Of course, if you're the one at fault, right? April 3rd, Venus in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius at 5 degrees. So this speaks about a very controlling person when it comes to love or a business situation. Maybe your partner, spouse is feeling insecure and exhibits, the dark side of Pluto, right? Control, obsession, suspicion. Um, you know, you know, your people, and if this situation can apply to you, all right? This, of course, will not happen to everybody, right? Also, Mercury in Pisces trines Jupiter in Cancer at 16 degrees. So this could be a very philosophical day where you look back and you count your blessings and what a fortunate person you are, right? Because this is a very nice aspect with Mercury in Pisces trining Jupiter in Cancer. You get all those memories from, your early childhood, family gatherings, and so on and so forth. On April 5th, the Sun in Aries squares Jupiter in Cancer at 16 degrees. So you may want to accomplish a lot today. Just careful if you're going to have a family event not to overeat. That's my only, concern here. But, any squares to Jupiter or Venus is not a bad situation. You can control it. April 9th, Mars enters Aries until May 18th. This is where things start to get very interesting, right? And we already have planets there, right? We already have the Sun in Aries. Like the stellium starts to form, in other words. April 12th, this day is super important. Mars conjuncts Neptune at 3 degrees. On a personal level, Aries people can become magnets, bringing, a possibility of romance, right? Mars, you look sexy. Um, there could be for other people, you could have a lot of creativity on this day. Like ideas can come that are very Neptunian, very um, fairy tale type or very creative. It has, because Neptune has to do with the arts, especially painting, music. April 14th, Mercury enters Aries. So with this one, careful with how you say things because you can be, very Aryan, right? You could be very blunt to the point, and it can come back to bite you because, people may be a little bit sensitive. Now, April 16th, Mercury in Aries conjuncts Neptune at 3 degrees of Aries. So here we go. Intuition, because Neptune also rules the intuition as well as the moon, mind you. So your intuition can increase. Instead of you being the logical, using your logical mind, you may be just daydreaming a bit and using your intuition to make decisions, right? Mercury. April 17th, we have a new moon in Aries at 27 degrees, 28 minutes. And I do want to show the chart. So let me, here we go. All right, so you guys know that for any natal charts for eclipses and full moons, new moons, etc., I use AstroSeek, astro-seek.com. You go here, and this is your drop-down menu of things. In this case, I use full moon, new moon, April 17th, and go here. And this is the chart of the new moon in Aries. You can see all these little guys lined up in Aries, and this is called a stellium. We have Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Chiron. And the new moon is when the sun and the moon are together, right? So, you know what? I should go back and show you the full moon of Libra. I forgot to do that. So, this is the full moon in Libra. And the full moon you can tell because the sun and the moon are opposite to each other. And this full moon on April 2nd has Pluto, somebody of power, trining Uranus changes, right? So, and then Pluto is also sextiling. This little small blue line is a sextile. A Neptune, Saturn, and the sun as well. So, and then Pluto trines the moon. So, going back to the this new moon in Aries, which like I said, you have a stellium of planets, right? In Aries. So there's going to be a lot of action. Aries is action, bravery, it's a high energy period. Pluto is trining Uranus, so this can also be an explosive day. And Neptune is sextiling Uranus as well. So maybe something behind the scenes because Neptune is the natural ruler of the 12th house, and the 12th house is stuff that you do when nobody's looking, type of thing. You want to keep it secret, you want to keep it hidden. So this April 17th is a new moon. And then we have on April 19th, 2 days later, the sun entering Taurus, but we have the Mars, Mercury, and Saturn conjunction at 8 degrees of Aries. So Mars is go, go, go. And Saturn says, wait, we need a plan. You can't act that fast. And you know that 8 degrees is not a good degree in the degree theory. So on April 19th, this could be a very difficult day. Um, but Mars is starting to conjunct Saturn on April 19th. And then April 20th, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn are all conjunct. So on a personal note, on April 20th, you can focus on details, which is Mercury, but use a slow, methodical approach, which is Saturn. And even though Mars is going to want you to do things fast, no, don't. Take it easy that day. Your mind and speech will be very sharp because Mercury rules your mind. Mars makes you sharp, precise, on point, maybe too straightforward, maybe blunt. So careful, how you speak to people, especially Saturn, someone older than you or somebody that has some kind of power over you. On a mundane level, then this can be planning a strategic attack or something that was planned. Because Saturn rules strategy. That's why I'm saying that. On April 23rd, Venus conjuncts Uranus at 29 degrees. So love at first sight, but it usually doesn't last long. especially if the transiting Uranus is aspecting your natal Venus. So, you need to be careful. If you want to go out on some dates and stuff, that's great. But when you meet someone with this Venus, uh, Uranus aspecting your Venus or Venus conjunct Uranus, it doesn't turn out to be a long-term relationship for like 99% of the time. Also, on April 23rd, be careful with money and the stock market. So the stock market can be very volatile during this period. I'm thinking that whatever happens from the new moon, from April 17th through April 20th, 22nd, will have an effect on the stock market on April 23rd or something around that later part of the month. Um, Anyway, on April 23rd, we have Venus entering Gemini later that day, right? And then April 25th, Uranus enters Gemini to stay until 2033. So I did a video by sign last year when Uranus originally entered Gemini, so you can check it out on a personal level. But overall, there's going to be a lot of innovation with communication, transportations, cars that fly, like super fast trains. Um, Also, on April 25th, we have the Sun in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius at 5 degrees. So, a powerful person, Pluto, can give you like maybe an ultimatum. Um, Or, this is not a good day to ask for a raise. Do not confront a VIP. Don't confront anybody that has power over you. It's better to sometimes just walk away and just let things go, and say, okay, I'll get back to you another day. Let me think about what you said and I'll get back to you another day. And so be it. On April 26th, we have Mercury in Aries square Jupiter in Cancer. So you have a lot of ideas going through your head, like so many um ideas that maybe you want to do, but you're not going to have enough time to do everything. So you need to prioritize. With Mercury, you make a list of things. And then finally, we end the month or on April 28th, as far as astrology is concerned, with Venus and Gemini trining Pluto in Aquarius at 6 degrees. So, very passionate day for those of you with a partner. So, make sure that you take advantage of this day. Um, I know that this is not the best energy for this month. Let me stop. I forgot to stop sharing. Anyway, I know that this month can come across very difficult. So, we need to pray that the situation, and I don't care who you pray to, right? That the situation in the Middle East calms down. Because I don't think that now it'll turn into a holy war. We have some time yet, based on Gemini. Uranus and Gemini will determine when the U.S. Enters into World War III. But hopefully it'll give us time to grow our own food, to get ready, to get set up for what's coming next. And again, I don't mean to scare anybody. But to me, you need to be prepared. Like I have strawberries and tomatoes growing already, and I'm not I had never ventured into a plants or anything. I mean, I have killed so many plants, it's horrible. But now that they're growing, it's working. So you have a lot of trial and error to do. So anyway, I know that this video is rough, the news I gave you, but it is with the best of intentions, and I wish everybody to stay safe and well. Also, try not to be in crowded places like concerts, football stadiums. events where there's a huge gathering of people. Let's just put it that way, because we are going to have attacks on U.S. soil because either we have people that have infiltrated because of the open borders or because, Iran can surprise us with something. I think they had what do you call it, threaten something in California. So cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, major cities on the West Coast, try not to go to big events there, like no concerts, no, I don't know if football is going on or whatever the sport is happening now, but I would not be in places where there's a lot of people, a concentration of people like marathons and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you find that this information is useful. I know it's a little scary, but like I said, to me, I'd rather be prepared than for something to catch me off guard. Subscribe to the channel, and if you would like a chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.